Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Renee. First of all, Happy New Year. I hope you guys all had a great holiday. I had a wonderful holiday. It was very dramatic. I had a lot of emotional stuff going on, but overall it was really a lot of fun and I'm very happy to start the new year. I'm in a really good place right now and I just am so excited to see what 2022 has in store for us. I'm actually filming this before 2022, so I'm pretty sure I'm posting this on the 1st, so Happy New Year. I'm gonna start it off with a good old book haul. I got a ton of books for the new year. I did not finish my fall reading list. I've never not finished a reading list before, and I didn't finish my fall one just because I was so busy and I had a lot of stuff going on in my life. So I have one book from the fall reading list, but the rest are pretty much new. I'm gonna save the other ones for fall because they're very fall based. They're very, what's the word? Like thriller-esque and like scary and dark. It's been a minute since I've read like a really good book, so I really did a lot of research because I really want to finish like a good solid book. The past few books I've been reading have just been not that great. And I did throw in a little bit of self-help books in here, and not like the self-help books that I'm used to. And I know I am so over self-help books in terms of like, I don't know, like self-improvement and like all the like BS kind of stuff. So these are more, I think, I don't know what the word is, like nonfiction more so than like self-help. We have a little bit of everything. And I'm just gonna read them to when I finish. I usually have like some sort of like timeline as to when I want to finish these. I'll do like seasonal book reading lists, but I'm just gonna read it, and then when I finish, I'll do the next book haul, and then we'll progress like that. I'm gonna be a little bit less structured for 2022. That's one of the goals that I have. So I'm gonna go ahead and just dive into it. If you guys don't follow me already on Goodreads, it's just at Renee Amberg, and I give you guys honest reviews on there. I'm pretty kind of brutal, honestly. Sometimes I go back and I'm like, oh girl, like chill out. I will have all of these books linked down below if you want to read them along with me. So we can do like a little book club, if you will, if you want to follow along. I know a lot of you guys read the same books, and it's really fun to talk to you guys about that stuff. So I've already started my first book. This one is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This is actually one of the books that I had on my fall reading list. It was the one that I was most excited about reading, so I just wanted to add this one again because I didn't even start. It's the same author as Daisy Jones and the Six, which was my favorite book last year, and I've heard a lot of good things about this one. The only concern that I have is that it has the same like synopsis as Daisy Jones. It's like a reporter kind of like getting an interview for somebody, but you guys have all told me like it's not the same kind of book. So if you've read Daisy Jones and the Six and it sounds similar, apparently it's like just as good, but in a different way. It says, reclusive Hollywood icon Evelyn Hugo is finally ready to tell the truth about her glamorous and scandalous life. But when she chooses unknown magazine reporter Monique Grant to write her story, no one is more astounded than Monique herself. Determined to use this opportunity to jumpstart her career, Monique listens in fascination. From making her way to Los Angeles in the 50s, to leaving show business in the 80s, and of course the 7 husbands along the way, Evelyn unspools a tale of ruthless ambition, unexpected friendship, and a great forbidden love. But as Evelyn's story nears its conclusion, it becomes clear that her life intersects with Monique's own in a tragic and irreversible ways. So, I'm really excited so far. I'm only on page 42, chapter 6, and it's really good. Like, the writing style is great. I just love this author, the way she writes. Taylor Jenkins Reid, really good. So I'm very excited. I already feel like I can't put it down. I've only picked it up like twice, and I'm already like on almost 50. So it's a good book so far. The next book that I picked up is John Green's The Anthropocene Reviewed. I'm totally butchering that. Anthropocene. No, I wasn't. I should have been more confident. The Anthropocene Reviewed. So John Green, I'm sure you guys have heard of John Green. He's like The Fault in Our Stars, Turtles Along the Way. But this is a non-fiction book, so I was like very curious, and it was on the bestsellers list. Essays on a Human-Centered Planet. It says an Anthropocene. What the heck is Anthropocene? We have to figure that out first. Relating to or denoting the current geological age, the period in which human activity has been the dominant influence on climate and environment. The Anthropocene is the current geological age, he literally writes it, in which humans have profoundly reshaped the planet and its biodiversity. And this remarkable symphony of essays, adapted and expanded from his groundbreaking podcast, best-selling author John Green reviews different facets of the human-centered planet on a 5-star scale. From the QWERTY keyboard and sunsets to Canada, geese and penguins of Madagascar. It's funny, complex, and rich with detail. The reviews chart the contradictions of contemporary humanity As a species, we are both far too powerful and not nearly powerful enough. A paradox that came into sharp focus as we faced a global pandemic that both separated us and bound us together. That was why I picked it up, because it's one of the first books that actually talks about the pandemic. That's why I was like so intrigued. Because sometimes you read self-help books pre-2020, you read them and you're just like, they don't understand. And like, this is gonna be interesting to read post-pandemic, because I feel like the whole world shifted and like our priorities, society, like our mindsets have all shifted. So that was one of the reasons that I gravitated towards this book. So it's like a collection of essays. It's an open-hearted exploration of the paths we forge and the celebration of falling in love with the world. I'm very excited about this. I forgot it was like post-pandemic, so I'm stoked. And then we have Firefly Lane. I've actually watched this series on Netflix. It's amazing. It has Katherine Heigl, and I don't know the other girl's name, but I'm like in love with that actress. I just love this show. I know there's gonna be like a season 2 and stuff, and I'm pretty sure that this goes past season 1, so I wanna know what's coming next before the Netflix show even comes out. But it's a book about like friendship, which is really interesting. Sometimes a novel comes along that speaks to a generation. Spanning more than 3 decades and playing out across the ever-changing face of the Pacific Northwest, Firefly Lane is the internationally best-selling story of 2 women and the friendship that defines their lives. This exceptional novel has struck a chord in women around the world. In a way, it is the story of all women, of who we are and what we care about and how much friendship matters. In the turbulent summer of 1974, Kate has accepted her place at the bottom of the 8th grade social food chain. Then, to her amazement, the coolest girl in the world moves across the street and wants to be her friend. Tully seems to have it all: beauty, brains, and ambition. On the surface, they're as opposite as 2 people can be. Kate is doomed to be forever uncool with a loving family who mortifies her at every turn. Tully, steeped in glamour and mystery, but with a secret that is destroying her. They make a pact to be best friends forever. By the summer's end, they become Tully and Kate, inseparable. For 30 years, Tully and Kate are there for each other, weathering the storms of friendship, jealousy, anger, hurt, and resentment. They think they've survived it all until an unexpected betrayal tears them apart and puts their courage and friendship to the ultimate test. So in the Netflix series, it goes from like, 30 years later? It goes 30 years and then like back in the day, and then 30 years and then back in the day. And it's just like a great tale of like a very strong female friendship. And like it says like the turbulations of that friendship, but I'm just excited to know what goes on post Netflix show. But it'll be like a really good, like good-hearted, I think easy read, not so like dramatic. I mean, I say that, but who knows? Then I picked up The Book Thief. This is like one of the ultimate books of like, you have to read before you die. I've heard so much about it. It says, when death has a story to tell, you listen. That's the only thing on the back of the book. Oh, here we go. It's 1939, Nazi Germany. The country is holding its breath. Death has never been busier and will become busier still. Liesl finds her life changed when she unearths a single object from the snow. In the Gravedigger's Handbook, left there by accident at her brother's funeral, and it is her first act of book thievery. But these are dangerous times. When Liesl's foster family hides a Jewish man in their basement, Liesl's world is both open and closed down. And that's pretty much it. I kind of like that, because I know that if I was given too much information, I probably wouldn't have read it. Kind of like The Kite Runner. Like when you read The Kite Runner, if you've read The Kite Runner, oh my god, it's one of my ultimate favorite books ever. And if I just read the back of the book, I would have like never picked it up. But I've just been told so many times that The Kite Runner was like a life-changing book you have to read before you die. And it just like wasn't my style, and I was just like waiting until the end to like read it. I had like a list of books like this, and I was just like, oh, putting off. I read it in like 2 days. It's one of the most amazing books I've ever read. I have a feeling this is gonna be very similar. So I'm very excited. If you guys have read this, let me know. Is it like as good as they say? Don't give anything away though. And then speaking of Kite Runner, A Thousand Splendid Suns, same author. A Thousand Splendid Suns is a breathtaking novel set against the volatile events of Afghanistan's last 30 years, from the Soviet invasion to the reign of the Taliban to post-Taliban rebuilding, and puts the violence, fear, hope, and faith of this country in intimate human terms. It is a story of 2 generations of characters brought jarringly together by the tragic sweep of the war, where personal lives, the struggle to survive, raise a family, and find happiness are inextricable from the history playing out around them. So Kite Runner was one of those books that you read and your whole perspective on life changes, and I have a feeling this is going to do just about the same. Is there a movie with this one? I'm not sure. I know there was one for The Kite Runner. You know what's actually fun fact? I read The Kite Runner in 2020, just heard of it as like a book, and then I realized there was a movie, watched the movie, it was just about as good as the book. I think they did a really good job. And then we were looking through my dad's like movie collection. If you guys know anything about my dad, he was like a huge movie buff, and he had The Kite Runner in there. I was so shocked. I was like, he knew The Kite Runner? I wish I like was able to talk to him about it because I never knew he had that movie. I wonder if he liked it. Anyway, another one, The Song of Achilles. Again, another book that I've heard so much about. Achilles, the best of all the Greeks, son of the cruel sea goddess Thetis and the legendary king P, is strong, swift, and beautiful, irresistible to all who meet him. Another P is an awkward young prince exiled from his homeland after an act of shocking violence. Brought together by chance, they forge an inseparable bond despite risking the god's wrath. They are trained by the centaur C. I really don't like big long names. I feel like I butcher them, so I'm just like abbreviating. So they are trained by the centaur C and the arts of war and medicine, but when the word comes out that Helen of Sparta has been kidnapped, all the heroes of Greece are called upon to lay siege to Troy in her name. Seduced by the promise of a glorious destiny, Achilles joins their cause, and torn between love and fear for his friend, second P, the awkward young prince, follows. Little do they know that the cruel fates will test them both as never before and demand a terrible sacrifice. Again, not something that I would typically gravitate towards, but this has been on my list for so long because, again, everyone's like, you have to read it before you die. It's amazing. It's a tale of gods and goddesses, kings and queens, immortal fame, and the human heart. I'm not quite sure how I feel about it, but again, I feel like it's going to be a pleasant surprise. I'm hoping for that. And then this one I actually got for my aunt for Christmas. Well, my brother got it for my aunt for Christmas, but I told him about it. It's actually a New York Times bestseller, and it just looks like a good self-help book. I want to keep progressing. Like, I really try so hard with self-help books, or just like finding things that make me feel motivated. And lately my self-help books have been making me feel like annoyed. So I really did my research. The only two I got were these two, and one was only because it was post-pandemic, and this one seems like a very like good-hearted kind of one. Nothing that's like too much pressure or like unrealistic in a way. It says nothing is stronger than, oh, it's called The Comfort Book. It says nothing is stronger than a small hope that doesn't give up. The Comfort Book is a collection of little parcels of hope. Gathering notes, proverbs, and stories, it gifts us with new ways of seeing ourselves, the world, and ourselves in the world. His blend of philosophy and self-reflective memoir builds on the wisdom of thinkers and survivors across the ages, from the Soren, I don't even know, to the Helen Keller and Bruce Lee to James Baldwin. This is a book to pick up when you need the wisdom of a friend, the comfort of a hug, or the consolidation of knowing the messy miracle that is being alive. It's the same author of Midnight Library. I did not know that. And you know what? I wasn't a huge fan of the Midnight Library. I don't know, I feel like this one's gonna be good. It's like, it's the comfort book. It's not like how to improve yourself or like 9 philosophies of life. It's not like super dramatic. It's just like a comforting thing. Hopefully I'll like it. Updates to come. Again, everything will be linked down below. I'm so excited to read. Like I said, I've already started picking up my book, and that was the first thing I wanted to do after Vlogmas. I was like, I just can't wait to read. I wanna read. So now that I'm back on my reading grind, I'm actually feeling it. I'm probably gonna like put this all away and go read myself a little bit more. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys again had an amazing new year. I think I'm going to be posting Monday and Wednesday for January. Let's just make it up. Hold on. Let's pick a date. Let's do 8 a.m. 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, just like Vlogmas. I'm just going to post it in the morning as early as possible, and you can watch it whenever you have time. So that's the new schedule just for January. I do want to go back to 3 videos a week, but for right now I just want to kind of like get back on track. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, give it a thumbs up. I love you guys so much. I'll see you soon. Bye.
I found somebody, I say you don't cross my mind.